Alright guys, we're back with Alliance War number 8, season 35. Okay, had a tricky little one here in terms of strategizing. I wanted Magneto here for this Dragon Man with Masochism over time. We got the Mist Defender. We're going ahead with Magneto. He can't miss, and there, even though he did purify that stun, most of my parries are going to land because of the magnetism. Plus, we're going to shut down the power gain. Always a great counter for Dragon Man. Now, the interesting part here is, as you know, I run 2 accounts, Path 1 and 2 this season, and I needed to figure out how to fit certain champions on. I needed Nebula for a Nimrod mini, and potentially for an Iron Man Infinity War mini. I needed Apocalypse, who I usually bring with Cable, for the Man-Thing mini in Section 1. But then I also needed Warlock for a Domino in Section 2 in Path 1, and I wanted Doc Ock for a mini Mangog, and Magneto also for Penny on the right side of the boss circle. So what I ended up doing is I brought in Magnetos on both teams. Nebula I only have ranked up on the main account here, and I brought Apocalypse without Cable. So this first fight, the first 2 fights, I can use Apocalypse anyway on Path 2. He's great. He works well for Hitmonkey here, so that's fine. I'm not too worried about it. You can see one special already. I just got to evade his attack back in. He's running recoil really easy here. One more clean evade and he dies on his own. Next is going to be Terrax, and the only downfall to this is these first 2 fights are fine, is that when I go into the Man-Thing fight, I will not have 4 charges, and against Man-Thing I want to be hitting as hard as possible, so I miss out on some damage. And when you miss out on some damage against Man-Thing, is that there's just a higher chance that that you're going to get some shocks on you. Plus, I have to be extra careful that I finish with a light attack into Special 2 in order to make sure I get the concussion on the Man-Thing fight. Here against Terrax, really not a problem. I'm getting some willpower healing back from the armor breaks. I'm not too concerned about this. I did put on the advanced power boost because I needed it for the Man-Thing fight as well. So here I go straight into the Man-Thing fight. Apocalypse, so I only have 3 charges. Also, I need to give somebody a Horseman later on, so that's fine. I will have 4 charges by the end of this fight. So here, again, he is a Mist Defender, and I do have to be careful about that. Sometimes Man-Thing does not want to play around as much. But here you can see I did not get the parry there, which is kind of annoying. Now we got it. We go make sure we finish with a light attack into a Special 2. Unfortunately, we got one of the... because normally I would just go from like a medium attack, and I didn't have to do as big of a combo, then I would have had the concussion on before I received that shock, most likely. But because I have some shocks, I'm taking some damage, even though the willpower is helping. I also accidentally triggered a Dex, so I had to hit into the miss and wait it out, go for the Special 1. Now again, I'm trying my best here, but I knew that this was one of my strategic decisions, that I was going to end up having to use more potions because I didn't have Cable on the team. But that's fine. Next, I am not great at reparrying, and Nebula, who's great for this EMP. The last time I did this Iron Man Infinity War, I've done it with Corvus in the past, and I've done it with Immortal Abomination. So here, my goal here is, I know that I can get a parry on his light attack, but not his first attack is like a medium. So there, after a combo, when he quickly dashes in, that's where I can pick up the parries. Even if I'm not a reparry guy, that's my opening to transfer those shocks onto him. Okay, and then the only other thing I have to worry about is Bubble Shield, and that's the key thing here. I have to keep track of the red charges above me. when I use a debuff, when I use a buff and I remove it, I'm just going to be full of shock. So I got 20 charges. If I can go ahead and get a parry on him, I'm going to be fine. But there, I had 20 charges. I dash back. And I did have an invulnerability boost. It definitely comes into play a couple times in this war, or in this particular fight. But you can see here, I'm just trying to see if I can find my opening there, that if he'll if he'll come in, go for like a little combo, and then wait and see if he'll attack in quickly. There, unfortunately, I forgot about the timing. Finally, I get the 20 shocks converted over. So there we go. He's ticking away, but I got to do it again. All right, that's the name of the game on this one. It's build up to like 20 charges, or and try and convert those over onto Iron Man. He is not immune to shock, and I knew this one was going to be a little tricky for me. I'm not the perfect reparry guy at all. It's one of those things that I'm just not great at, and I probably should spend some more time. But you know what? I'm kind of happy with the play style that I like, and if I can make it work, I can make it work. So that's fine. Again, we can attack in, no problem. Don't have to worry about any unnecessary damage. Don't have to worry. I'm completely shock immune, so I don't have to worry about EMP at all. But I am, because I'm not able to get any specials, so I have to really rely on raw damage, and especially near the end of this fight, I really need to convert those shocks on. So again, we're going to try the same thing. We triggered the unblockable so that we're fine. There we get the quick light attack in, get the shocks on him, and goodbye Iron Man Infinity War. So not my best, but still got the job done. Next up, we're going to continue with the main account up path 2. We're going to go Magneto against Modok here. Even though it's strike counter, block penetration, we're going to go with Magneto, who can basically shut it down, but we're probably going to, I think we throw special ones anyways. And there's always some time where, you evade. You can see there I can evade the special one most of the time, but the longer your fight goes, the more chances you have of screwing up at least one time. But here at the beginning, we're doing really well. We're just going to keep spamming special ones, big heavy attacks. Really nothing to worry about against Modok. We don't have to worry about his auto block whatsoever. Sometimes I just build up to special 3, let him get, maybe he'll get some block penetration. But there is also the disorient on parries, which you can see up until then didn't happen, but there is a chance. So I didn't want to be relying on parry heavies. I figure I might as well spam those special ones. There, of course, I mess up just a little bit, but it's okay. We're still close to almost 80% health, so I'm not too concerned about this. So down goes Modok, and then we have a Professor X, also straight counter block penetration with under pressure. So we're going to go with Apocalypse, who can become disorient immune. So I can just dash back twice at the beginning, get the disorient on me, and then become disorient immune for the rest of the fight, so I don't have to worry about any of my parries failing or my abilities failing. There we trigger the falter. Now we can go back in. I guess the goal here is probably, again, throw special ones to avoid the extra block penetration because of strike counter. And then we can go ahead and refresh those charges. At the same time, keeping an eye on the charges there. So we got to trigger the falter again, back off. And now we have some time to go and get another special off ourselves. Again, refresh the debuffs. Drop another special one. And Professor X is just about finished. We might have to do one more falter trigger right there. And now he's just about finished. Even with the 4 charges, we could always just hit into his block for a block break stun. But that was great. And then we'll continue up, do the Nimrod mini. Now again, this one is Nebula fodder. So the goal here is Nimrod's a robot. So we just get to 5 charges. So we're going to hold block, get to 5 charges. Now we can hit in, no problem. We can ignore the strike counter We can basically ignore just about anything. But Nimrod on this particular run decided that he didn't want to throw any specials. Typically in Alliance War, even though I evade his special 2 like 99.9% of the time when I fight him with Hercules in Alliance Quest Map 8 minis, I'm always nervous to face his special 2 in war. But he was really, really, really stingy. So I was able to build up to my 20 charges. But what I want to do is I want to get 20 charges and I want to get close to a special 2. That is the goal. There you go. Special 2 after the parry. 20 shocks into 40 shocks and watch him melt. Unfortunately, I triggered Buffet there quickly. And so he still has some health. I have to quickly evade this special 2. Get back up to 5 charges. I kind of get stuck in the corner here, but we intercept our way out. And then we don't really have to worry about it. We're back down to... because when we lost the charges, then Buffet can kick in. Once we have the charges back, we can parry and goodbye Nimrod. So again, super happy with Nebula there. Cody would be proud. Next up, we've got the reinvigorated, unblockable, and never back down Overseer. I'm going in with my boy Doc Ock. And you can see here, the goal is if you're if you're too close, you're going to get a regen, and they're going to regen, or if you dash back twice, you're going to trigger a regen, but as long as you have a heal block, you're fine. So what I'm going to do here is I try and keep up my parry heavies so I can keep the heal block on. Okay? And as long as I can, and then I get off the special 2 with 100 research categories, so he's power locked and heal blocked at this point. I'm going to refresh them. Then I'm going to go for the parry and detonate them. He is almost done. He has not thrown a special yet. We continue to bait him into not throwing a special. We're going to go ahead and combo this guy out, even though we pushed him to 3 bars of power. Loved it. He didn't throw one special. Super happy with that fight. One of my favorites of this war. Was phenomenal. Then Warlock, have him in my back pocket. Haven't brought him out in a long time. He's the Domino shredder here, especially on Buffet. So the goal here is he's tech, so I don't have to worry about the unlucky. I just have to worry about Domino's lucky. And with like Super Buffet on this one, all I want to do is, you can see I'm hitting into the block. I just want to get up. I just want to get my infections on. Once the infections are on, that's what we want to do. We don't want to throw special 1s because they will get rid of the infections for us, and then she's going to be able to heal. Instead, we're going to go with just special 2s. That's all we want to do. Keep up the infections the entire fight. Get parries if we can. Get like a special 1 intercepts if we can. That is the goal on this one. Bait some heavy attacks, and Domino absolutely get shredded. I know that Domino can be extremely annoying, but Warlock absolutely coming in clutch. I loved it. It was great. I was debating. This was part of my pregame decision making. I was thinking about maybe Doc Ock, but Doc Ock really needs to be able to get the heal block guaranteed when you need it, and I thought Warlock was definitely the safer one. Now here we've got Magneto against the Penny with Limber and Brute Force. And this is Node 55. We've done this one before. Here, I messed up a little bit. It's not so much that I messed up. I usually have an advanced power boost. I'm running really low on those at the moment. So I did not have one to use. And the ability accuracy reduction from her being #metal is not always perfect. You can see I still triggered an auto block there. I still lost some power. So getting to a special 3 sometimes can be very tricky. So then I realized, okay, fine, let's go ahead, try and get her shield down at the same time that I'm also just trying to get hits in for Brute Force. If you focus just on getting the shield down without taking any time to actually parry and throw a hit in, then it's going to be tough. And I know there is Limber, but Magneto reduces that Limber duration just enough so that you can still kind of get, maybe not a heavy attack in, but you can still parry and get an attack in, like a light attack. So I decide at this point, okay, fine, it's not really quite working. I'll build up some prowess. I didn't think I was going to actually get, so there I got to special 3, and I should have thrown it, but instead I hit in, and I got power drained because I was focusing on the Brute Force. Same thing there. got the parry. So I decide, okay, fine. Let's go ahead, drop a big special 2. Let's see if we can get that. Again, sometimes this works out a little bit better in terms of getting up to a special 3. So there, I see I get to the special 3. But again, I go for the heavy attack to charge. She attacks in and it power drains me. So I go for the big special 2. Now I'm like, okay, fine. Let's just throw a special 1, get some bleeds on. We can, as long as we're getting hits in and we don't have to worry about the brute force damage, then it's fine. So I'm taking some chip damage here and there, but doesn't matter. Magneto comes through in the clutch again against Penny. Love Magneto for that fight 10 out of 10 times. Now, here's the the Mangog that screwed us over in the last war. We're getting our revenge. We had a buddy, I forget who it was, who put the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights on for us. Thank you very much. That helps reduce his power as well. All I got to do is I didn't even bother taking off Dex for this one, which is going to come into play just a little bit because sometimes Mangog doesn't want to play around. Normally I can avoid it, but right there I trigger by mistake a Dex, so now I got to wait out the missed timer. Luckily, I've got the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights. I got the power lock back on, and boom, we throw the special 3, and we're not going to get into the same rotation that we had in last time. Like I said, it either has to be well below a bar of power or above a bar of power. So here, Mangog throws the special. We're just going to block it. We don't have to trigger Dex. Then that's perfect. We can go ahead and get right. Now we're just going to go and cycle special ones over and over and over again. I'm actually going to go ahead and speed this one up. So right now, all I got to do is hit into him and refresh the power lock with the special one. We're going to do it over and over and over again. Completely in control of this fight. Don't have to worry about it at all. And Mangog is shredded. That's what we are supposed to do with Doc Ock. Perfect war. This one, 12-0. I actually picked up an MVP on this one. Not that those really matter, but I've got a couple hundred of those MVPs over the years, especially between the two accounts. Lots of them. Not that they're not an important stat, but I'll take it as a bonus. So hope you enjoyed this war. I really enjoyed the strategy on this one. Went with some mixing up the lineups a little bit. Not necessarily the ideal champ for every specific fight, but for the 12 fights that I took, it worked out perfectly. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you have any comments, if you'd like to see something, let me know. Put it in the comments. I will take a look at all of them, respond to almost every single one of them, and we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.